you going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. Boys, I love it when you drop in the shop. You know, the last while I've been doing a lot of work outside with the tractor, spreading gravel, grading off the lane, grading off the pad out back where we hope to put a tractor shelter someday. But anyway, I thought today I'd switch gears a little. It's kind of overcast and threatening rain, so I thought I'd come in the shop. I got a little project I want to do. Quite some time ago, I put a new top on my table in the camp that I use for my computer setup. And that new top is working great, I must say. It's nice big surface, easy to work on. But I've got two monitors, and the monitors take up a lot of space on this desktop. So what I'd like to do is just build a little shelf at the back of the table so I can put the monitors up in there, and that will give me like a whole bunch more horizontal surface. And you know how we love horizontal surfaces. So we're going to try and make a little bit of a shelf to put at the back of my table so I can put my computer monitors on it. So what I'm going to use for this little shelf thingy that I'm going to make is I had this piece here that came off an old dresser, and this dresser belonged to my mom and dad, and they passed it on to us. We used it in the camp for a long time, but eventually we outgrew it, but I never threw it out. But you can see it's pretty dusty here, hey, because it was sitting in the shop for years and years. So I'm just going to spray this down a little bit and wash it with Mr. Clean. And I expect that maybe once I wash it, I'll sand it down a little bit and maybe put a little Varathane on it. But we don't know yet. We'll see what it looks like. See if I can even use it, right? Because I expect I can, but you never know with this until you get it cleaned up exactly what you're dealing with. Look at the dirt's coming off it. Good golly. So just finishing cleaning this off, and a couple of things I noticed. First of all, this is a particle board center piece of material with veneer in the top and the bottom. Also, it's finished, the edges are finished on the front and both sides. Now, this little shelf that I'm going to build is only going to be 48 inches long, so I'll have to cut this and give up one of these finished edges. The other thing is, I'm looking at this, the finish is kind of wore through in places. There's some scratches, some pretty serious scratches right here and here. There used to be a mirror on this, because this was a dresser in my mother and father's bedroom at home when I was a kid. So anyway, those scratches aren't going to be a problem because this little shelf I'm going to build for my table is only going to be about 6 or 8 inches deep, so I'll be able to cut that part off. But one thing I did notice, I hope you can see it here, there's a cigarette burn on the top of this. And you could tell you a little story about that. My mother smoked like a chimney, eh? Oh man, she smoked. And well, my father used to smoke too. But one day Dad just said out of the blue, he was sitting at dinner and he started coughing. You know, he had the cigarette cough going. And when he finished hacking and coughing after dinner, he said, "That's it, I'm finished smoking." And he probably only smoked 2 cigarettes for the rest of his life after that. And that was a long time ago. But anyway, Mom never did quit smoking. She kept on smoking. And Dad used to give her a hard time about smoking all the time. So one day, I guess, Mom was in the bedroom doing something, and she had a cigarette going in the ashtray, and the cigarette fell out. Look what it did. It burnt the top of the dresser. And this was their pride and joy. They paid a lot of money for this bedroom set, and Mom was just devastated that she burnt the top. So in order to avoid confrontation with Dad, Mom would she always had a doily or something on the dresser. Certainly was better condition than this, but she'd put this on the dresser, and then she'd put, you know, like, I don't know what, all ornaments or something, pictures or something like that. But anyway, I don't know that Dad even knew till the day he gave this up that there was a cigarette burn in there, because Mom hid it so well. Poor Mom, boys, I'm telling you. She loved this dresser. I miss her. She's been gone a long time. But anyway, there's that cigarette burn from Mom. So what I'd like to do is, whatever I do with this shelf, I'd like to save that cigarette burn just as a reminder of Mom. My shelf is going to have a long top and then 2 supporting legs and a little kind of a brace at the back, you know, to keep it from swinging and flopping around. So I'm thinking if I cut 8 inches off of this, zoom right down there, and cut it 48 inches long, then I can use this part that's cut off. I can make a couple of legs to go in here, and the finish will match, and it'll also have a nice finished front on it. So, you know, that's a good idea, good use of the material. So I was just in the camp there, and I checked the base on my monitors is just exactly 8 inches. So I want to make it a little bit wider than that. So I reset my fence to 9 inches. Okay, so there's going to be my shelf. It's even pretty straight. So The way this is going to be situated in the camp is the living room or the dining room of the camp is going to be my right hand side. So I like to save this finished edge here to face that side. So I'm going to measure from that side 48 inches. So we'll cut this off right here. Alright, so that's going to be my shelf. Now, my shelf, it's going to be mounted, I'm going to put a couple of legs on it. I want the legs to be 5 inches high each. So I'll cut those now too while I'm here. Now what I'd like to do is, I don't want these to be the full 9 inches, I like them to be set back off the edge a little bit, so I'm just going to put them together here, cut an inch off the end of them. So I'm just going to sand this to fine grit, but I just want to rough this up because I don't really want to take the surface off it, I just want to prepare it for another coat of urethane. So plug your ears. So not much of that, right? Just like I say, take the old dirt and grime and grit off it that's been there, a little bit of the finish, just to rough it up for another coat of urethane. So I have some paint thinner here, and what I want to do with this is just use it to more or less clean the piece. Doesn't look too bad. I managed to save the cigarette burn. I really didn't want to lose that, so I'm glad I didn't. I want to locate where these feet are going to go. So this is the underside of the shelf, and this is the side that's going to be facing the living room. So I want to have the finished side facing out to match that. The finished side facing out, so it's going to sit in here, something like that. And also that's why I cut the inch off, so that this will be set back in here. I hope you can see that. I don't want these legs so far in that if I put something heavy on the end of the shelf it'll tip, but I don't want them so far out that if I put something heavy in the middle it'll sag. So you know, it's kind of a toss-up where they would go. So that's 5 inches right there. What would 6 inches look like? 6 inches would look like that. I'm going to put them in 6 inches. What the hey? So to make sure that I have that square, I'll put my square, then I'll put a line right here, put my square on it. And I'm going to mark the side I want the leg to go on. I'm going to try to hold these shelf supports onto the shelf with biscuits. So I have my biscuit joiner here. We're going to cut 2 biscuit slots here, then I'll set up and cut 2 in here. Hopefully they'll match and the leg will line up. So now I just have to line this up here and take this part of the shoe off my biscuit joiner and then put a couple of biscuit slots in there, and that should sit in here pretty good, eh? So what I've done is I've transferred a line from the center of each slot down to the face of the leg, and then I marked where those centers of the slots would be on the shelf. Then I extended those lines because on the base of the biscuit joiner there's a mark right here that's the center of the biscuit, of the cutter blade. I've also taken this shoe off the front of the joiner, the biscuit joiner, right? So I can lay this flat on my workpiece. So now all I do is I line up the bottom edge on the line that I drew and the center line on this extension, and I should be able to make a couple of biscuit joints. I've got it lined up at the back on the line. I've got the center line lined up, and so let's try it, see what happens. Other than it spitting sawdust in my face, didn't turn out too bad, so let's try the other one. So we line this up on the line. It's important to get that flat and good lined up with the line. Okay, let's try this again. So a couple of biscuits, one goes there, one goes there. This is going to go in here. I think that'll work, eh? So we're going to do the same on the other side, and then I think what I'll do then is I'll stop and varathane everything before I assemble and glue it. So I've got some satin varathane here, or polyurethane I guess, it's not varathane. So we're just going to put some on here. I'm going to do the edges. I want to seal the edge because the edge is it's raw, and because it's particle board, I'm afraid it'll absorb moisture and then start to swell, right? So that's why I want to paint this to seal it. But the one thing I do want to say is this cigarette butt stain up here, because that's special to me. That's got a lot of memories. Poor mom. We'll let that set up, and then we'll come back and buff it maybe with a fine piece of sandpaper, and then put another coat on it. Okay, there's my shelf all varathaned up good now, and I can still very clearly see the cigarette burn mark here, so that's going to be nice. Here's some biscuits, just like Grandma used to make. I'm not sure about braces here, like for lateral stability, but we'll see after we get this glued up how it looks. So let's put a little glue in the slot and in that slot, and then we'll just smear some around here, and then we'll put a little glue in this slot and in this slot, and then smear some around here as well. Now we're going to put our biscuits in here and in here, and now we'll locate this on here. So we'll glue this one in place too. When that glue dries, we'll be able to flip it over, check how sturdy our legs are, and if we need to put some braces on them, then I can cut some little gussets maybe and put on the back. Okay, the glue has been drying here now for a couple hours, so we're going to take the clamps off and flip this over. Okay, I think that's good and sturdy. I don't think I'm going to need any braces on the back legs. I'd like to put some felt pads on here. Well, I couldn't find any felt pads, but I found some little rubber feet here with some, stick them on one side, so that'll have to do. So let's take this into camp now, put it on the table, and see how it looks. Okay, so this is my tabletop that I made earlier, eh? And with all the clutter and whatnot that's on it. And what I'd like to do is put that shelf right across the back of it and put my monitors on top of the shelf, and that would give me a lot more space, I think. They brought the shelf in, so it doesn't look too bad there, eh? So it's going to go back here against the wall, and it's made to be the same length as the table, so it can be lined up there pretty good. So this monitor is going to go here. Now the other monitor. Going to make a lot more room in the table. Here comes Nanny. We'll get the final judgment now.
It looks good.
Thanks, Nanny. Alright, so I'm set up here pretty good. I made my shelf, I was only going to make it 8 inches, then I decided to make it 9. I probably should have made it 10. 10 would have been nice. I have this shelf pulled back from the wall a ways, but that's not a mortal sin because now I have room in back there to run my wires, so it turned out okay that way. And I think that's a good height for the monitors. I can just sit there here at my chair, don't have to bend over anymore, and just sit upright, be easier on my back, and I can see the monitors quite well. I like it. So I hope you do too. Let me know in the comments what you think of it all, and bear in mind it's nanny approved, so it can't be all bad, right? Thumbs up, me folks. Have a great week wherever you are, and we'll talk to you soon.